Imagine being able to play the biggest, baddest, most graphically intense new game, not on some $5,000 gaming rig, but on your phone, or your old laptop, or even your smart TV, instantly. That's the dream, right? That's the promise of cloud gaming. But as we're about to see, making that dream a reality is a high-stakes battle against the laws of physics. So, let's dive in.
At its heart, cloud gaming is basically a magic trick. The idea is simple enough. Some super powerful computer in a data center miles away does all the hard work of running the game. It then just streams the video to your screen, kind of like Netflix. But here's the catch. Unlike a movie, you have to control it in real time. And that right there is where the magic trick can all too easily fall apart.
All right, so here's how we're going to unpack that magic trick. First, we'll look at the incredible promise of cloud gaming and why it's so tough to get right. Then, we'll see how AI is jumping into the ring as a potential savior. But, and this is a big but, we're also going to uncover the hidden price of that fix, what we're calling the AI tax. We'll explore what that means for the industry and the tough choice we might all face for that perfect lag-free experience.
Okay, first up, the impossible promise. And let me be clear, cloud gaming is not some niche little hobby anymore. This is a massive, and I mean massively expanding market.
I mean, just look at the numbers. Microsoft is reporting that cloud gaming hours on Xbox Game Pass have shot up a staggering 45% year over year. People are loving the convenience, you know? Just jumping into a game instantly without having to wait for a 100-gigabyte download. The demand is absolutely there.
Which, of course, brings us to the big question. If it's so popular, why does it still feel kind of janky sometimes? Why do you hit the jump button and watch your character leap to their doom a half-second too late? Why does the picture suddenly go from crisp 4K to something that looks like a blurry video from 2009?
Well, the answer comes down to a fundamental battle that every single one of these services has to fight. It's a battle against physics itself. And this enemy has a name. It's the one thing that can make or break the entire experience.
And that enemy is latency. You've probably heard the term. Simply put, it's the delay. It's the time it takes for your button press to travel all the way across the internet to a server, for the server to react, and for the new image to travel all the way back to your screen. And in gaming, every single millisecond counts.
Here's a great way to think about it. Streaming a movie is a one-way street. The server can buffer and send you data seconds in advance. But cloud gaming? That's a frantic two-way conversation. You're basically screaming commands at the screen 60 times a second, and you need an immediate response every single time. If there's any delay in that conversation, the whole illusion just shatters.
And, not all games feel this pain equally. It really depends on the game's design. If you're playing a slow, turn-based card game, a little latency is no big deal. But a fast-paced shooter where you need split-second reflexes to line up a headshot, even a tiny bit of lag can make it completely, frustratingly unplayable.
For years, the only real solution to latency was pretty brute force. Just build more data centers closer to people and hope for faster internet. But now, a whole new player has entered the game. One that promises to bend the rules of physics. And that player is AI.
So, AI is showing up with two main superpowers. First, it helps the game feel better. It can actually predict when your network is about to have a hiccup and adjust the stream on the fly before you even notice the lag. And second, it makes the game look better. When your connection gets choppy and the quality drops, AI can step in and clean up the mess.
And here's what that actually looks like. On the left, you've got a typical low-bandwidth stream. See how it's all blurry and blocky? Total mess. But on the right, that's what AI can do. It can take that low-res stream, upscale it, smooth out the motion, and get rid of all those ugly artifacts. It's how services like NVIDIA's GeForce NOW can make a struggling stream look way closer to a native high-quality experience. It's pretty amazing.
But that's just the start. The really crazy stuff is just around the corner. Neural video compression. See, for decades, video compression has been based on rules written by clever humans. With neural compression, you just let a deep learning model figure it out on its own. It can find patterns and efficiencies a human would never think of, promising way better quality at much lower bit rates. It's a potential game changer.
So, AI is the hero, right? Problem solved. It fixes the physics, makes games look and feel amazing. Well, not so fast. Here comes the twist in the story. All this AI magic, it comes at a price, a hidden cost that could totally change the game.
And this quote really hits the nail on the head.
every single one of those amazing AI features, the predictive networking, the upscaling, the neural compression, it all requires a mind-boggling amount of computer power. And in the cloud, computing power isn't free, not by a long shot.
So here's the crucial thing to understand. AI doesn't get rid of costs, it just moves them around. As you can see here, using fancy neural compression might lower how much you pay for bandwidth, which is great. But it massively increases how much you pay for computation, because running those complex AI models is way more expensive than a standard video encoder. You're basically trading one expensive bill for another, potentially much bigger one.
And this so-called AI tax isn't just an accounting headache for these companies. No, it has these huge ripple effects that could totally reshape the market, pushing us toward a future where only the absolute biggest tech giants can even afford to play.
I mean, think about it. To build these amazing AI models, you need two things: a ton of servers and an unbelievable amount of data. And who has that? Who has latency data from millions of players all over the world? The big guys, like Microsoft and NVIDIA. This creates this powerful black box effect. The more users they have, the more data they get, the better their AI gets, which attracts more users. It's a feedback loop that could make it almost impossible for smaller, innovative startups to ever catch up.
So this all brings us to the final, really critical trade-off. There's no doubt AI is making cloud gaming technically better than ever. But what are we giving up to get that perfect stream? It really comes down to two sides of the same coin. On the one hand, AI gives us this incredible experience. Smoother, sharper, more stable games that work even on a shaky connection. But the cost of running all that AI could mean we end up with higher subscription prices, maybe stricter limits on how long we can play, and big picture, a future with way fewer companies competing and innovating in this space.
And ultimately, that leaves us with this one big question to chew on. AI is busy solving cloud gaming's biggest technical headache, but in the process, it might be creating an even bigger economic one. So, is a perfect, flawless stream worth it if it leads to a future where that magic trick can only be performed by a handful of giant corporations? That's a question the industry, and all of us as gamers, are going to have to answer.